Welcome to another episode of These Two Girls podcast, where we share our views on love, life, and everything in between.
With your host, me, Candy.
And Cheyenne. Hey,
Welcome.
Candy. Welcome,
Hey,
listeners.
Shine. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming back again and checking us out.
I mean, I don't even want to do this whole apology thing again, to be honest. I just, guys, it's just been rough. Okay.
maybe they didn't even notice.
They
Maybe
didn't
they
notice
didn't
we were
notice.
gone. That would be kind of sad if they didn't
Oh,
notice we were gone.
you. That is a good point. Yeah.
I'd like to think that they noticed. So then, in that sense, I would like to say,
Well, yeah.
guys,
Some people did notice because people have asked me like, "What's up with the podcast? What you guys, I'm like we still here. We ain't going nowhere. We still here. So
yeah.
some people did miss us. Some people did.
Oh, that's good. It touches my heart. It warms my heart. We're very sorry. I'm very sorry.
We're sorry. I'm sorry too.
But I think we've reached a spot now. I'm gonna let Candy post this picture of this studio setup I got going on. I finally figured
Mhm.
out some of the kinks and the technical difficulties to get the
Mhm.
sound quality respectful, because I feel like it's disrespectful when we post like poor quality things.
Right. Like the
So
last one. I don't know if you guys,
yes,
if you listened to the was it the beginning one for this year? Yeah.
yes, it was. Oh,
That was sad.
it was rough.
And we apologize for that one. Let's apologize for that one
Yes,
too.
we apologize. That one was just poor quality, but we're just like, let's just give them something.
Right.
You
Just
know,
work with us. We're figuring this whole thing out.
we're in a long
Yes,
distance
you'll see the
relationship right
picture.
now.
Oh my
you
gosh,
know,
yes, we are. Yes. So we just trying to figure this all out, y'all. So just take time. We hope this one sounds a lot better.
yeah, I think
So
it
far,
should.
we heard a sample and it sounded pretty good.
Yes,
So yeah, this one should be good. And we will always still be improving. So
yes,
it doesn't stop here.
hmm
Always improving.
yeah.
So how you doing, Cheyenne?
Man, I'm here. I'm not gonna complain.
Hmm.
I'm living the dream, really, that I was dreaming last year, and now I'm in clinicals. Right now, I'm in pediatrics. I have to say, I'm not like Candy. I'm not like, oh my god, I love kids. But
Okay.
so I was a little bit apprehensive when I was gonna start. I was like, oh gosh, these darn kids, they're gonna get me sick. They just, they're gonna be all over the place. But so far, I actually enjoy it. It's been going really well.
Oh.
Yeah, and the kids are so, the little ones are so cute. I feel like we shouldn't be wearing a white coat though. Because as soon as you walk in the
Um.
room, those little 2-year-olds, they look like, oh, heck no, what is about to happen,
Yeah.
So they get really scared and whatever. But this doctor, he wears his white coat, so we do too. And, it's all good. But I'm actually loving it. I still don't think I would want to do pediatrics as a
Okay.
specialty, but I'm
Okay.
enjoying learning so many different rashes. Everybody got runny nose. I'm
Mhm.
trying to avoid strep throat right now because everybody. I think I was in like 4 strep throats last week. I don't even,
Oh gosh.
because I have
But
to
I
like look
mean,
in their mouth and I'm like, oh, you
but I
know.
mean, so far, has it just been pediatrics you've been doing, or you've tried another
Before this,
area?
when I first got here, I did obstetrics gynecology specialty with mothers that have high risk pregnancies.
And what about that one? Did you like
That was
that?
really good. I don't want to do obstetrics either, but
Okay.
it was interesting, and it was good. I learned a lot about ultrasound, and I saw my first 2 vaginal deliveries.
Uh,
Gross. Okay.
Let me tell you, it's not to cut you. I was in a conversation. It must have been Friday evening,
hmm
and it was a husband and someone that just recently had a baby, and she was talking about how she tore and she had to get sewn up, and he was
Mm-mm.
talking about his wife and how she had a C-section and he had to do all the work. The beginning of
Yeah.
the
Having the
when they
baby.
had the
Yeah.
baby, right? So he had to lift the baby, bring the baby to her, and so I'm listening to both of them going back and forth, and I'm just sitting there like gripping my vagina, like what the heck? And I'm like, no, listen, I don't know, I'm not ready for all of that.
Right.
My husband is gonna have his own. He's gonna come with his own kids, okay? And then my friend was like, "Oh, so you guys are just gonna practice? You're not gonna have kids? Yeah,
Just gonna
we're just gonna
practice.
do the
Yes.
practicing
Yes.
because this whole 9 months thing and this whole she's telling me that she tore, and I'm like, what does that mean that you tore? Does it
Right.
heal? Does everything come back together? Like, what
Yeah.
does that mean?
If
you
well,
know?
when you tear, it doesn't really. I mean, it comes back together. It heals, but it's not like perfect. But if they have to cut you down there, make the space bigger, then the healing is better because it's like a perfect cut. But
Oh my
anyway,
god.
yeah,
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 yeah. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to. Oh my bad. TMI. Okay,
yeah.
keep it
But
going. Yeah.
the whole thing with that rotation for me was making me scared of pregnancy itself because of all the
Oh,
complications that people have. And by the time
right.
I'm getting ready to have kids, I might be considered advanced maternal age, which is a diagnosis of complication that makes you high risk too. And
Oh
advanced
gosh.
maternal age is like 34, 35.
Oh my god.
So that just tells you, okay.
Oh,
Yes. And I just had a birthday and I was 29. I'm 29 now. So, it's just not that far away. And
if you just turned 29, so I wonder how old I just turned. But anyways, okay, cool.
but yes,
But if it helps, like the majority of our friends, do you realize like the majority of friends don't have kids?
that's true because, the times have changed. Like, it's not necessarily a priority. It's a lot of us are
Right,
more focused on career and getting our life together.
right,
And even if they're
right,
married, it's not even the first thing that they're trying to do. You're trying to get
right.
stable. You're trying to,
Well,
so.
maybe the majority of our friends, maybe we'll all have kids together, or we'll all have kids together, so we won't be alone in this whole thing, because all the people I know now, their kids are now older, and I'm just like,
Mm-mm. Yeah,
okay,
we're not
yeah,
gonna catch that boat. That's
yeah,
that's
I'm not
okay.
gonna catch that boat. So,
But yeah,
but okay,
what
so
else has
you're
been
seeing
going
stuff,
on?
you're doing stuff. That's good. You're not
Yeah,
bored.
yeah. I
How's
mean,
life up there? Have you met any friends? Have you met anybody?
no, none
Mm,
of that.
no,
Any body
no.
part, no.
Okay,
I have
okay,
friends here that I know from school that are also
okay.
doing their rotations. So I hang out with them every now and then. But no, nobody, nothing. I was on like four different dating apps at one point, but
Okay.
I decided to give that a break because I was just getting annoyed and it was just too much. Sometimes those things can get very overwhelming, and I feel like we need to have a whole episode about dating apps, which we will.
We do,
And
we do. I've disabled mine. I can't handle it. I can't. I still can't. I was trying to shoot my shot, like I said I was doing for
mhm.
2018, but it's really not my thing. I know you do pretty good with the dating apps. Shout out to you, but
Mhm.
I, I'm good. I'm good.
I
It's
don't know
not my
about all
thing.
that, but we'll see. I'm trying to work on some personal things right now, and so I don't have
I
time for
feel
that
you.
right now.
But
But yeah,
okay, so we'll touch on that later on, another
yes.
episode. You
So
know.
you know, let's get into the meat of the episode, right?
Yes, let's do
All right.
that.
Okay.
So we have guests today,
Yes.
and you guys know I love when we have guests. And I'm really interested in the guests that we have today. They're just so awesome to me because what we're about to talk about or hear from them gets me pretty excited because I'm into crazy stuff, right, Shy?
Mhm.
It's not crazy to them, but
Right. So
okay.
you're
Anyways,
in good company.
right. I'm in good company. Right. Okay. So, we are introducing you to Lacey
Jump.
and Matthew.
Lacey and Matthew, welcome to These Two Girls podcast. So,
now, why do we have Lacey and Matthew here? So Lacey is about to go on a 6-month hike.
Well, let's back up.
All right, let's back up.
Who is Lacey and who are Lacey and Matthew? Well, we know Lacey from like when she was kid. Well, she's not that much younger than us, but she was kind of like a kid to us at one point, and then yeah.
Remember when she was like chunky?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember when she was in high school.
And short.
Yeah. Because she was in high school with Shanique. Yeah.
Shanique, that's Shine's sister. Okay. So yeah. So who is Lacey? So yes, we've known her from back in the day. We used to go to the same church. She's Jamaican.
She's doing this.
Really? She'll probably be one of those Jamaicans that, because they do this to me, so don't take offense, that they'll say that they've taken away your Jamaican card.
Oh. So she's gonna take away your Jamaican card?
No, I'm saying that
her card has been taken.
She'll probably be one of those Jamaicans that people like to say things like that.
No one's ever dared.
Yeah, but yeah. And you know that stereotype once, when you're not, speaking patois all the time and eating ackee and salvage all the time and dumpling, and they tend to think that they can take your card away. So,
okay.
What are you
Say
saying?
it, please speak.
But lately, I've been called Rastafarian-like.
Oh.
Because I'm vegan.
I guess I could see that.
It's like the closest comparison often.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see it.
I guess.
For the win.
This is stretch.
For the win. I like that better.
And Lacey, but who's Matthew? Maybe. Who's Matthew?
Lacey, please introduce us to Matthew.
Please introduce us to Matthew.
That is a ridiculous question to ask someone outside of Matthew.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I thought Matthew would tell us Matthew, but maybe Lacey can introduce Matthew. Matthew can finish up who Matthew is.
Okay. So the obvious is Matthew, and he's doing his Matthew thing. And he's a beautiful man that I met in Boulder, Colorado.
Nice.
Colorado. Mm-hmm, and we connected, and we've been figuring it out since. Hanging out, traveling. Mostly traveling.
Pretty much that. We've done a pretty good job of just deciding that we wanted to go on adventures.
Nice.
And doing that for a little over 3 years now.
Lord, hear the desires of my heart.
Mm-hmm. It's coming. What I wanted to say, though, most importantly, is Matthew is a tinkerer. Tinker? A maker. He's a maker-tinker. He enjoys building things, and he has a beautiful mind to create. And that is pretty cool. Like, create actual... How do I say this? He's a handyman for sure. And an electrician, and a plumber, and just all these random things in one human being.
Okay.
And that's kind of cool.
And you guys live... So where do you live now? Where are you based?
Well, officially...
On the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, officially I'm based out of a trailer that I built up, and Lacey will be on the trail, but I'll have some of her things in the car.
Okay, so we're back to the trail. So before the trail, where were you guys based? Because you haven't started the trail yet.
Last, yeah. We were in San Diego.
Yeah.
San Diego, okay.
We lived in San Diego.
And you mentioned earlier off air that you were recently backpacking in where?
Oh, I was backpacking. I was because I had come and visit, and then I was back in California.
Got it.
Okay, so you weren't like
backpacking.
Oh.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's Matthew and Lacey. So.
Oh, and Matthew's an islander too. Actually, should be added.
Oh, a different one.
Yeah, a different one. He's Filipino.
I'm half Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Half Filipino. You speak
Tagalog.
That's what it's called? Tagalog?
That's one of the
One of
dialects. I don't. My grandma speaks Ilocano, but I don't speak it. It's pretty close to Spanish, but
Do you understand it?
not some of the words that are like clearly Spanish words. Yes,
Okay.
but she didn't teach her children, and I
Okay.
never learned it.
So you're vegan also?
Not true. I'm not a true vegan. I'm just really finicky about the food that I eat.
Okay.
My body is pretty sensitive. Like I've always had all sorts of health things,
Okay.
and like in the past 2 years, I got really sensitive to what I could eat and couldn't eat, and what my body would do in response to those. So.
Okay. So you're not a true vegan, but you are a true vegan, Lacey.
Sort of, yeah. Right now we're figuring it out.
What do we consider a true vegan?
Oh, well, it's debatable for sure.
About to get
Okay.
political
There are
here.
different levels.
Yeah.
There's some crazy levels of veganism. But a vegan is a person that doesn't participate in animal or animal products.
Mhm.
Mostly the consumption of that.
So that's you.
That's true. But a big but. I guess the base of my dietary lifestyle is vegan.
Okay.
But I have had eggs from chickens that I lived with and, I don't know, communed with on the property we lived on in California. And then I had goat milk recently from this goat farm that Matthew volunteered at.
So those are the areas that are debatable because you're not
because it's
supposed
animal
to
Those
have
strongly make me not vegan.
Okay, right.
Makes me vegetarian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not often. I like eating eggs from chickens I see and hang out with.
Right.
We can have a conversation.
I think we're pretty similar in that it's like it's
not what you get from the store.
Not so much.
Okay.
There's a big difference. It's crazy.
I believe you.
Yeah.
The vegan code says that you just don't participate in any animal products.
Right.
But I think that that's a bit extreme, and I feel like what we try to subscribe to, or what we do subscribe to, is just like avoiding animal cruelty. It's like life happens and death happens, but like let's like just not make things suffer in order for us to suffer too. Really,
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going on this trail, but what I really want to back up to, right? Because I'm not as close to Lacey as you are, so I don't know what she's been up to all this time.
Okay.
Right? So I'm trying to get to how we got here, right? So, were you working, like I think weren't you teaching at one point?
Yeah.
Okay. So then that's the last thing I know. So then we were there, and then now we're going on a trail.
Yeah.
How did we get to this? Like, what has led you to this decision, and what's inspiring you to go on this trail? Yeah? No?
Yes.
Okay.
100% yes. In fact, I wrote the past, since it's been real and there's been a date set, I've been writing down the reasons why.
Okay.
Why I'm doing this. And
Okay.
so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
look at my notes here.
Good notes. Nice.
But you asked a lot of questions there. What was I doing before? I was definitely teach. Man, I miss my job. I actually do. I quit my instructional aid position at honestly one of the most beautiful schools I've ever worked at.
Was that a Montessori school?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was a Montessori school in Ramona, California, and the best leadership I've had in my life up to this point. Like, I was for my principal. Like, I was 100% for her. And it was a step down from being, like, the face-to-face teacher, which is what I'm used to, and what I did while I was in Colorado for the most part. But anyhow, this last job was at Mountain Valley Academy, and I was mostly at the high school, MVA. And then I started working with the kids on the playground because they were short of yard duty. So I was an instructional aide and yard duty, so I got to see ages like K up to 12. It was beautiful. I loved that job so much. Broke my heart to quit, but I know I had to come back to Florida to spend time with the family, and I knew I had to bigger picture go on this hike. And
so during that time period when you were teaching, you knew that you had wanted to do this hike?
It's been silently sitting there for 6 years.
Okay.
Because I first met the hike when I lived in Tennessee. I went to school in Cleveland, Tennessee, the university.
You can't, you have to do like actual audible
Right.
gestures because they can't. No, they didn't see that.
Yeah.
There's a lot you're not seeing, audience. Sorry for you.
I can narrate your gestures.
Yeah.
Yes,
Point
please.
fingers.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Yes, please do that.
So I was first introduced to the trail. Oh, I was first introduced to the trail after I graduated college in 2011, where I spent a month on the trail, actually.
Okay.
Something new that you may not have known.
Yeah.
I spent a month on the trail by myself at the end
By
of
yourself?
in December of 2011.
Wow.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was awesome. I spent Christmas out there, and it was honestly, I met so much of myself that I was so unaware of. It was beautiful. And that's also another reason why I'm fully committing to going out there is I think there's a lot that I won't know till I'm doing it and until I've done it. And you know what I mean? Like there's a lot I think I know, but I won't actually know till I'm there. So there's that. And then to like top all that, I've been reading this book, The Alchemist, which I brought here for us today to check out.
Okay.
Like props. And in this book, which is crazy timing, it talks about this idea that when you want something, it's because the desire originated in the soul of the universe. It's your earth mission. And that's so brilliant on so many levels for me because I am truly an earth creature. Like, I enjoy the smells of this earth a lot. I don't know, and it really resonated with me that there is this seed planted in me before my consciousness realized it was there, and so now I need to go see, taste, and smell what that is to kind of like find my personal legend, I think. And the book talks about that a lot, which is such brilliant timing because I discovered this book for Christmas. In fact, Matthew bought it for my brother and he left it, so I started reading it. And it's honestly all the exact reasons why I'm going out there and the hints of why I think I'm going out there. This book has like covered so beautifully and so far has given me the words to articulate what I'm feeling.
Okay.
That's cool.
And I want to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Can I walk 2,200
Right.
miles?
Yeah.
Can my physical body and my mental state handle this kind of journey?
Right.
I'm with it.
Yeah. Did we actually say where she was going?
No, because you wanted to backtrack.
Okay, so we backtracked and ended up here.
It.
So tell us, so you're going on this 2,000...
200 miles, roughly.
And where is this?
It's the Appalachian Trail.
Appalachian.
Appalachian. Or just the AT.
Call it AT. Right.
The
Yeah.
AT.
I call it that.
The AT.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it spans from northern Georgia to northern Maine. So it starts at Springer Mountain, Georgia, and ends at Baxter National Park in Maine, and it ends at the summit of Mount Katahdin.
So about how long will this hike take you? Like, what's the time span on this?
So I have a goal, which I should recognize first. I am hoping to do it in 120 days. So I should be done mid-June, early to mid-June. 120 days. So that's like, what, roughly 4 months?
So when are you starting? When are you going?
On the 25th, so I start on Sunday morning.
25th
Bright and
of
early.
February. Yeah.
Yes, she's starting on the 25th of February.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
and you said June? Mid-June?
Yeah.
That's dope.
But on average, it takes a person, thus far, on average, it takes a person 6 months.
Okay.
So when you go on this trail, right, when I think about hiking, I generally just think of going uphill, but I know that that's not the case the entire time, of course. So, but this is through, like, terrain, right? Like, she has a book, she has a guide.
Yeah.
So it's, And because Matthew, you're going to be kind of driving alongside. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Right.
Where
So
you will
before
be
you,
in a,
before you do that, because I don't think they really know that yet. So, what role does Matthew play
in my journey?
In your journey?
I'm sorry for finishing your sentence.
Yeah. Nope, not a problem. Go ahead. Tell us about Matthew.
Matthew is crazy. You want to tell me about you, or should I tell you?
You could start.
All right, I'll start and you'll finish. Matthew's crazy and such a blessing to me because I won't have to carry or worry about as much as other hikers will have to worry about.
Okay.
So what Matthew's mission is, or dreams or hope, whatever he's doing, is to resupply me along the path. Just be a contact that is there. So, like, if shit hits the fan for me on the trail, like, Matthew ideally would be the first contact. I mean, depending on the situation. Like, if it's dire, it's rescue, not Matthew. But Matthew would be close by to...
Right, to be there.
To be there, yeah. So that's a mission just
was this
for safety.
Was this your idea?
100%.
Okay.
Great, yeah.
But so if you didn't have Matthew, what would that look like? I mean, how would you resupply?
Yeah, she's doing it, guys. She has a
gosh. Okay. All right. This is going to be a lot of words. If Matthew wasn't there, I would have to take more. Okay, so if Matthew wasn't there, I would have to take more food than I'm going to be taking. So other hikers who don't have the luxury of bumping into Matthew, one will have to resupply in whatever town they stop in, which who knows what the food's going to look like. It could be ramen noodles, which is mostly what people eat out there.
Okay.
Shitty bars. Like, it really all depends. There's some podunk areas that supplies minimal. Like, you have maybe a shelf or two of, like, options to choose from. And being that I'm a vegan, that doesn't work as well because I do read ingredients and I'm limited quite a bit. So there's that one thing. The food, the safety, it is a lot more safe knowing, for my mental state and my parents, to know that there is someone there that can help if anything goes wrong. Really a travel buddy, like a common face during this time of who knows what. I'm sure I'll be stressed on some level, and to see some familiarity is going to be nice for me. And Dane is coming along, and he's the sweetest little dog, and he makes your heart so glad all the time.
So is the dog hiking with you?
No. Okay. Dane's just Matthew's hiking, their life partner. What else? I mean, the ride back home, that's going to be nice. I won't have to figure that out because Matthew will be there, and we'll travel down together. Oh, and Matthew's going to have, 50-pack of beer for me, and I'm so pumped about that. Every time I get off the trail, I'll celebrate with one beer and then be on my way.
Was this that same beer that you just gave me, that nasty beer?
Well then, very appreciative there.
It's gonna be beer, an assortment of beer. Another great thing is Matthew will have my backup gear. So if any gear fails, if the season changes, which it will while I'm out there, like I'm starting in the winter and I'll go through spring and then summer, so it's quite a shift with what I'll be wearing. Okay. And so I'll be able to unload on him and then reload off him. And what other hikers will have to do is they'll have to mail things back home, leave things in drop boxes, just give it up for other people that need it. Like, really, there's a lot of loss money-wise in their physical items that happen. I'll be able to give costumes. That's a big part for me. Litter resupplier. That's important.
So, speaking of money, so before this trip, before you decided to go on this trip, where are you working? So, the funds for this trip, how is that working? Because it sounds like an expensive venture.
Yeah.
Because there's gas money for Matthew, and then there's your food and equipment. I know you recently upgraded your phone. um, yes, guys, I told you to take great pictures and really.
Oh, you said you got a new phone?
No, yes and no. What's funny about that is like I got a new phone,
right,
and then dropped it. Like a month, less than a month later, completely shattered the screen. So now I'm walking around with a busted phone. So.
And she has a really
does
cool
the camera
book
still
bag.
work on the phone?
The camera works great,
okay.
but it's not sustainable because the screen is like falling apart and the shards actually get me often.
I told you, go find somebody. The swap shop.
Yeah, they'll
Oak
fix
Park
the screen.
Market.
Yeah, I don't know. I need something. I've been dodging doing this whole thing. I've been getting my last minute jiggers out.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still a lot of preparations that you haven't done.
Oh.
What else you have?
So, yeah, you have some. She brought some food to show us today. We'll post a picture of that. But so you've prepared food for how many days so far?
So far, I think I have 60 days worth of food.
Okay. And will you be starting out with that much in your backpack, or you're gonna have some with Matthew first and then? Okay.
Yeah. That's what's really beautiful about having Matthew. First, though, backstory: I've been dehydrating all of my own food, so these are dehydrated meals that I've already like pre-planned and pre-weighed. Which that's another really big thing. You have to take into account calories. Like you have to be conscious of your daily calories because you need your body to work. And that's really important, especially when you have dietary things. So thankful for Matthew because he will have all of these dehydrated meals.
Okay. So approximately how many times do you expect to run into him or, meet up?
That's the other part.
Yeah.
It all depends. Like starting out, so the rule is to hike your own hike. Matthew mentioned that earlier, and what that means is like you need to be aware or start to learn your body to prevent injury. So hike your own hike. You're going your own pace, and that is really important to a successful summit. Like finishing this whole thing. So we are going to start out really, really slow. We being this group of women I met on the internet that I'll be starting with. I met them on a AT Women's Forum, and so the 6 of us have been talking for 2 months now, and so we're going to start together.
Nice. So you're going to see them on Sunday morning?
Yeah,
okay.
Sunday morning.
Okay. For the first time?
Yeah. And then start walking together. So at first we're gonna go slower than I planned because the group I'm starting with is beautiful because it has from ages 18 to 60. Like the youngest one hiking with us is 18. Yeah, and the oldest one, Chris, she is 60.
Wow.
She's
I need you to say that louder. 60.
Yeah, 60.
I know 60-year-olds that just
I can show you pictures of her.
Do things.
Oh, I have a video that you can watch of her. She recorded a video recently of just like telling everyone that this is what I'm doing. Follow me. I think she's starting a vlog.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go home and tell my mom.
I mean, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
So to answer your question, Cheyenne, my bad.
It's cool.
At first, we're hoping to take 2 to 3 days to get to the next town.
Okay.
So anywhere from 2 to 3 days is when I'll see Matthew again.
Okay. So then in your backpack you have like a little tent kind of thing or sleeping bag kind of deal to sleep overnight, or you guys like walk in overnight or?
Good question. I'm gonna back up again to finish answering your good question. So I'll be taking. So since I'll be there for 2 to 3 days, roughly, I'm gonna take maybe a week worth of food, or maybe like five individual food days, just to be careful, just in case, you know. Yeah. Okay. Now this backpack, and I can lay it all out so you can take a picture and see it. It's brilliant. So it's a backpacking trip. So everything I'll need will be in this backpack.
Right.
So I have a tent. Okay, so I've got a sleeping pad, I've got a tent, I've got a sleeping bag, I've got a bag liner, which is a new addition, and it just makes my sleeping bag even more warm. So it's like a 10-degree bag now.
Okay.
Which I'll be hiking in the winter, so I want to sleep. I sleep cold, so I want to be comfy.
Right.
I've got clothes, I've got rain gear, I've got trekking poles, I've got like a chair. Like this is my chair. This tiny little thing. It's just a cushion to sit on.
Yeah.
Food, water, glitter, medicine. I've got a.
I'm
sorry,
wait. Can we pause? What's the glitter for? Can we?
You just said glitter,
Yeah.
like sparkly
glitter, folks.
dust.
Yeah, because I like it. It's my thing.
It's one of Lacey's.
I was gonna say like you have glitter on your face, but now I know
Yeah,
that's there on purpose.
Like
Okay.
Yeah, I truly enjoy glitter because it does remind me to smile often, and it's just really pretty glitter. And when the light hits it,
Okay. All right, sorry. You can continue.
What else do I have in here? Clothes. Oh, I got one. Oh my gosh, this is the weird part about the trip that I'm curious about. That maybe I'll pause because it might be too much information, but
No.
you're doing everything in the woods.
Yeah.
Everything.
So I know where you're going
Everything.
with this.
So I've got my wipes.
Right.
In the event that anything.
I don't
This
think
is my
that's
life
enough-
source
that's not
right
enough
here.
wipes.
That is not enough wipes.
Well, it's 2 to 3 days, so this is actually too many wipes.
Okay.
We're
What?
hoping. We're
Yeah.
experimental.
This is, and a lot of this trip
Matthew,
is
get
going
the-
to
do
be
you think that's enough
experimental.
wipes, Matthew?
I think that this is enough wipes for 3 days.
He thought it was
Really?
too much.
So
Because this is 20 wipes.
Yeah, that's another part of the trip. You need to know what you have, like everything about
Like
what
a
you have
count.
in this backpack.
yeah.
So I've got a cook system in here. I've got a bear bag and odor-proof liners. I probably will have a beer or two. I've got chapstick. You know, literally everything.
Oh,
you
they
will
sent her
need.
chapstick.
Well, hasn't it always been like that?
It's always been like that.
Really?
Yes.
I'm embarrassed. God. My poop shovel, my vitamins, pad, cup. Because
So-
I believe in the cup.
So let's go back to this poop shovel. So how are you going to poop?
Like you poop.
You're gonna like squat down and poop in the dirt?
No. Well, yes. Yeah, absolutely. That is what's going to happen.
Okay.
She said no. She said no. That's exactly what
Yeah. I mean, but they do have outhouses along the trail. Like when you get to, and this is only when you get to a shelter that they may have a poop station. What do they call them? Privies.
Okay.
Such an odd name,
It's a
but the
privilege to
Appalachian.
poop in this.
Oh my God, that's true.
Right.
I didn't think about that. It might be because I'll like, this is how I'll get to poop in
She's
those.
showing
You know,
us
like
that.
I'll get to like a normal toilet.
Right. So you'll
And-
probably poop better if you have to squat like that. I think that's
Oh,
the
I'm
best
gonna
way
have
they're
such
saying.
great poops.
Yeah.
I'm pumped about that. So, and it's going to take a lot of intention because I'll have to know before the immediacy of poop because I'll have to dig a hole. So why I have this is it's called a trowel, and this one is the Deuce of Spades, which is like really lightweight. It's 0.6 ounces. And that's another thing. Like your gear needs to be
Lightweight,
because
yeah.
you're carrying this the entire way. You know, no one's carrying it for you. Your things aren't just going to get to the shelters. You have to take it with you the entire 2,200 miles. But this trowel, you dig a little hole, about 2 inches, I say. Like, yeah, depending on what you're dropping in the hole.
Right.
Because you don't want it to be a mountain. You need it to
Because
be
you know ahead of
smooth.
time what's coming out.
Exactly, and that's why it takes intention. You need to know before so you can like go off trail, find a safe spot. Like
a little bit of poop or a lot of poop.
yeah, it can be whatever level of
You
poop
run
or
poop or
other
or
things.
solid poop.
It can be anything. It could be every number.
And it's worth noting that this is dense forest, so you're going to
That's
take off
true.
your big pack. You're going to have to walk into the wilderness, avoid ticks, avoid
Yeah.
poison ivy, and then find yourself a private spot to do your business.
And that is why it's it's so important to know where you're pooping and to pay attention to before you have to poop. Like, know you have to poop like a minute or two before you have to poop because you have to walk off trail, find a spot.
A minute or two?
I think so.
You need like 10 minutes. You need like,
I've practiced. I've also been practicing, so I can do this. Okay, so why it's important is because
for accidents.
You can make all the accidents you want, but you'll have to deal with the accident. That's the thing. Right. Yeah, you'll have wipes.
and you only got 20 the other day. You don't have that many. 20. You only got 20.
If you have it at the beginning of the trip, okay? You're going to have less than 20
you better
on
call
day
Matthew.
2. Wait, he's not going to get to me that. Oh my god, so many things. Anyhow, you don't want to poop in poison ivy. You
don't want to poop in poison ivy.
No, exactly. So that's why you need to be aware of what's
around. It's like the end of the trip right there.
So like, are you bathing in the river?
No, I ain't gonna do that at all. Actually, I'm like freaked out. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I am going to bathe when I get to town, when I get to a hostel, or there's this guidebook that I have for your audience that you can't see is brilliant because it gives you.
What is it called? Can you tell us what it's called?
It's called it's a lot of things. 2018 Northbound because I'm going northbound. The AT guide, a guidebook for hiking the Appalachian Trail, David Awol Miller. Okay. Awol is his trail name. You'll get a trail name. I don't have one yet, so I'm excited.
When do you get the trail name? At the end?
No, just whenever it happens. It's kind of like the journey will meet you when it meets you.
It's like the never mind. Continue.
So this book like maps out a lot of miles and a lot of the services offered, but there are some services that just offer showers.
Okay.
So and I'm hoping to do like what is it? hotshowers.com or .net. So it's a thing like what is it? Couchsurfing? It's similar to couchsurfing where you can like reach out to people on this forum type thing. And
they let you come take a shower
and sometimes you can camp in their backyard.
Yeah. It's mostly directed at cyclists and through hikers. So people just post the information.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're a woman. How many is it? 6? 6 of you guys, right?
Yeah. I thought you were saying I'm a woman. I was like,
So what?
Me too.
How are you guys protecting yourselves? I mean, is there what kind of danger will you guys you could possibly face out there? And what's the plan?
And what's the plan? That's a good
question. Do you have things in that bag? Because you didn't mention anything about
spare.
Yeah,
like a spare.
What's the plan to keep?
I got a machete in here, actually. That'd be dope. No, I don't. So that's the other thing. You don't want to carry unnecessary weight. Again, you will be carrying this pack with you and all of the weight in it for 2,200 miles.
Gotcha.
So you don't want to carry anything unnecessary. And there is talk on the trail about do you need to carry a handgun? Do you not need to carry a handgun? Like I got bear spray. There's lots of options. The women in my group in particular, mostly we're going to have each other. And I like to believe I'm strong and I am prepared to handle myself. So I'll have my strength.
Okay. What about animals? What kind of animals?
Bears. Honestly, to be honest, the threat of humans isn't the problem. Sure, you'll have a loony or two, but that's not your biggest problem. So I just have a survival knife. No, a survival little blade. It's the tiniest thing, but it is just, I've cut myself at least 4 times since I've gotten it on accident.
It's like a 3.5-inch razor blade.
Yeah, in this little.
And a little fucking knife.
Well, Matthew's here. I make sounds, he makes words.
Okay.
And I have bear spray, and if it can take a bear down, it can take a human. That's what I think.
That's true.
Which is the bear spray is pretty much high grade
Mace.
pepper
Mace,
spray,
yeah.
but it also shoots like 6 to 8 feet out.
Yeah.
Because you're not trying to get up on the beer
No.
and spray.
So,
right? You don't need to get
Yeah.
that close to you. Okay.
Wow.
Let me see.
yeah, I got the biggest can because my mom said, you better get that because I wasn't going to.
You get the pocket size.
Even that, you mentioned your
She's like,
mom.
no.
So how was that when you pitched that to your family members? How did that go about?
Months of hard conversations.
Okay.
Months of like, it's a terrible idea, Lacey. Honestly, still, mom's definitely loosened up to the idea, and she's more along with it, and more like, okay, you got this. But she's still very frightened to buy the idea. She doesn't understand why, which I think most people don't understand why, especially in Florida for some reason. Most people are so baffled by it.
Well, I guess if you're thinking about the culture,
Exactly.
then you know the culture that you grew up in. So we're not adventurous in that sense. You've probably heard this is some white people stuff.
Yeah, I
You
hear
know,
it a lot.
like that's what you know.
And there's that culture on the trail too, which I'm not sure what I feel about. I might be a little nervous about that, but I don't know yet. We'll see. The biggest threat on the trail is ticks, deer ticks. So
snakes.
that's a thing, copperheads. But just don't get. The rule is mind your business. Like, stay in your lane. If you see a bear, don't run up to it and give it a hug. Like,
Right.
keep your distance. Same thing with a copperhead. And a lot of this trail, what I've understood so far from the research I've done is you just need to be aware all of the time. Like, you need to know where you are and what's around you and the sounds that are close by. And the biggest weapon I think I have for this trail is I'm very excited to do it. And permethrin, insecticide, because deer ticks is honestly the biggest threat on the trail. And I don't want to get Lyme disease.
Right, I was gonna say that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like you do not, and when you, especially when you get up north,
especially
Lyme disease is
God.
rampant. Yeah.
Why is it that bad?
It's those darn ticks. They're carrying it. Yeah.
That's scary.
It's terrifying. I'm really afraid. I'm glad that's the biggest fear I have. But
they don't. Well, they don't make any like prophylaxis for it, really. So
what I've heard is you're just stuck with it, right?
Yeah.
Like until it works itself out, which it never really does.
Well, just pay attention to your skin, first, because if you can get it early, then better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you meet up with Matthew, you got to do like a check.
Yeah.
Like check your, for rashes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's why.
That's a good idea, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You ready, Matthew?
I mean, that's why I'm glad to start with people, because I was just going to start by myself. Like, Lacey Jump was just going to start with Lacey Jump on whatever day. But why I'm really glad to have these women is we'll be able to check each other. Because I can't see my back as well,
right.
As I can see your back. So I'm hoping to keep up with at least one or two of these women the whole way.
So you guys anticipate that you'll separate, like, just everyone will go at their own pace? It's not that you're going to do it together, just starting together.
Yeah, we're starting together, and we all have each other's contact info. So I think what I'm feeling so far is we'll have a culture of checking in on each other regardless of if we stay together.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's good.
And no, we won't be doing any night hiking. I mean, we might a time or two, but it's daytime.
Yeah.
Sleep at night.
Okay.
Especially during winter, because you can slip on things.
Yeah.
Like ice.
Mm-hmm.
So Lacey. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I remembered your question again.
I love that.
The whole trail is rolling. Like, it's like you climb up, you go down.
Okay.
Or you stay steady, or you climb up, and then you go down, and you stay steady.
Yeah.
And this book kind of maps out
where is what. Okay, good. Mm-hmm. I'd like to look at that after.
Mm-hmm. I think the worst part is, the longest part of the trail is Virginia. That's why it's the Virginia Blues. But I think the highest summit is in like Smoky Mountain.
Okay.
I don't care.
What were you gonna say?
So you're excited, right? We established that. So Lacey, so say we have someone that, you know, is interested in trying something like that, or going hiking for the first time, maybe not a 6-month trail, or they just want to get into things like that. What advice or suggestions would you have for someone that may want to start something like that?
Like candy.
Well, go ahead. 'Cause
I think human beings get limited by the word hiking because it sounds really treacherous. It sounds like I'm gonna climb this tall mountain. It's not even a hill. I'm gonna climb this mountain that's like Everest. I feel like most people go to Everest immediately.
That's what I did.
It's just a walk. It literally is just a walk. Like you're just walking, and you will have a backpack that has supplies in it. So, what I would do, which I do now, if anyone wants to walk with me today or tomorrow, probably not today, but tomorrow or the Friday, put some food in your backpack and go on a walk. That's it. Maybe put a jacket because the weather changes. Maybe put some sunblock. Definitely put some water. Maybe an electrolyte tablet, depending on your sweat level. And go for a walk. In my head, that's a hike.
And so also with that, so for someone that, so you left what you were doing, you left your job, you left everything you were doing to pursue this dream, to pursue what you wanted to do. I know for a lot of us, we're not as bold. We like to stay in that comfort zone. How were you able to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to step out of my box and get this done? How were you able to say that this is happening? Forget the job, forget this, forget what people have to think, just move forward. What pushed you?
So I haven't fully forgotten, or I don't not hear what people are saying. Okay. So I don't not hear the naysayers there. I do feel that pressure sometimes, like, wow, this is a crazy thing to do. Like, what the hell? But I was just tired of questioning it. Like, I'm gonna go see if I can do it. Like, I wanted to see if I could do it, and I'm gonna go. I'm stubborn. Is that it? I think that might be all it is. I'm just stubborn. I was tired of wondering about it. Like, why am I still wondering about this thing? Like, what, 5 years later, you're still holding, maybe thinking, like, blowing it on? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. And I think it's quite insulting to your heart when it really puts things on it, and you're just like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's the conversation I've been having with myself.
Yeah.
So,
So what are, like, in the daytime that you're hiking, and especially when it gets to the parts where you're not with anyone, what is that headspace gonna look like? I mean, I know that's what you're hoping to discover. That's what I'm thinking about, is that those moments of like being alone with yourself and with the sounds in the woods, or like I'm curious as to what you'll discover out there. I think that'll be interesting. You think you'll blog any of it at all, or it's just gonna be like pictures of things? Maybe you should write.
I'm definitely gonna do that.
Yeah,
I definitely have some thoughts and yes to that. Matthew really wants to participate in that experience, actually. So I feel like Matthew wants to.
I'm mostly just going to be a journalist for Lacey's travels. And
you should be her social media manager.
Yeah,
he is, actually.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping on it because I've had stuff to take care of the past 2 weeks.
Cool. Yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah, so I'll just be posting updates and pictures. So basically, my intention is I want to take a picture of her the first time when she comes off the trail each time.
Yes, I when she's leaving.
This is day whatever.
Yes, Matthew. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then day 120, here it comes, summit.
Yeah, and then like whatever
interesting things she's telling you about, like as you guys are talking, maybe some clips of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd check in with you too if you want to know. Just ask at some point. I'll tell you when I like hit halfway or something, or just ask. You can ask at any point.
Definitely. And I think maybe our listeners will like to hear. Yeah, once we post this, they're gonna want to know.
Yeah.
Did you make it?
Yeah.
Did you die?
Yeah. Maybe we'll have you back when you get back.
Wow.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it.
That part is like stressing me out. That may be the second biggest stressor
To think about.
I don't want to lose that weight. Like straight up, I feel like I'm thin now. Like I'm good where I'm at. You're not gonna be smaller,
Right.
And I
Well, I mean, that's just like a very minute problem to have.
Right.
Like, come on.
I mean,
You get back and you start eating again, it'll be like nothing happened.
That's true, but for some reason I'm worried about that, or maybe it's just like my mind telling me to be aware.
You're clearly not worried about anything. That is not a worry.
I just worry about that. Like I don't know. It's a big deal to me to make sure my body works.
Well,
like is nourished.
but maybe your body will be working by losing the weight, so that you can be more agile.
Faster
Yes.
time.
Mhm.
Because my bag's already lighter than I thought it'd be. So this, you don't know what a blessing that is. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Well, this was a great conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And I can't wait to see your progress. Thank you guys for coming and talking with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll
Wish you
give
all the best.
I'll give you a little plug.
Yes.
The Instagram account.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Is Lacey on the AT, separated by underscores.
Okay.
Lacey underscore on underscore the underscore AT.
Okay.
That's the account to follow.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I am a little short on money wise. You did ask that, and I didn't answer because I'm a ninja. And
So you have a GoFundMe account.
I do, and it is Lacey. GoFundMe.com.
Lacey actually.
It's on the Instagram. But yeah, that part's been interesting, like collecting funds. But it's been going. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Regardless, it has to be great because
You're doing it. Yeah.
So, folks, if you are, if you support this type of movement, if you really like what you heard, Lacey and Matthew and the AT journey, yes, check out her Instagram page, follow her, and also donate to the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
It doesn't only have to be funerals that we support on GoFundMe.
Oh, God.
I'm not dying on this one. By the way.
No.
That's what we see GoFundMes for a lot now.
Yeah. Support the adventure,
Support
life,
the
and
adventure.
living.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
The first Jamaican, right?
Yeah, I
Do
might
we know
need
yet?
that.
Have you checked it?
I did check, and there's literally no other Jamaican recorded to have the AT.
Hey.
That would
bring
be
in my
dope.
flag.
That would be great. Yes.
Yes.
Bring my
Yes.
flag.
When you get
Incorporated in the pictures.
Oh, trust me, we will.
Yo,
great, I'm excited
you
now.
can get picked up, girl. I'm telling you. Ooh, yes. First Jamaican.
We just got to do it. So many people are missing out on these cool things because what, you're Jamaican? That means you can't go for it through life? I don't know. Anyhow.
Yes.
Yeah.
First Jamaican! I feel like we need to have this.